So today out in the garage, I'm actually not going to work on the Z. I'm actually going to get some work done on the Mercedes for a few different reasons. But let's first go over the state of it and what needs to be done. So currently, trickle charging the battery. I'm actually surprised it's holding voltage. It's at 10 volts. I bought it when I moved the car across the country. That was in 2021 February. I don't remember. It's been a while. It drove across the country, so awesome. So it's a runner, right? Yeah, sure. It was running worse and worse as we drove across the country. It actually started getting better gas mileage, which to me tells me that the carburetor was getting more and more gummed up, providing less and less fuel. By the time we made it home, you're pretty much running near full throttle most of the time. So I know one of the carburetors needs to be rebuilt. It has two, and one of them is definitely like plugged up. It's plugged up bad. The only reason why I really haven't gotten to it sooner and fixed it and made it more of a daily driver or something that can be driven on occasion is that the front windscreen leaks, and so does the rear, which has caused a lot of the wood trims to rot away. So I'm doing what I can to protect it, to keep it out of the rain, out of moisture, and also out of the sunlight. It's super dusty right now, and the paint has gotten to be pretty dull, and it is old single stage. That would buff up well if it was still thick, but it's already burned through in several spots. And so as such, I have some Vice Grip Garage wipe on clear that I plan on clearing this with. But there's no point in doing that if it's still running like junk and doesn't want to start half the time. So let's go through the process of getting it started, getting it outside, where we can work on it in the beautiful spring weather we're having. So as one would expect, these bowls are empty. This car's been sitting so long that for all I know the tank's dry, just evaporated away or turned to varnish. So we'll fix that with some dilution, with some fresh gas and gas tanks. So this rear one, I know it's plugged way down there, at least at the, it's you know, rat turds and everything else. So I know that one wasn't breathing. This front one, I don't know if it's in any better condition, but I only have one rebuild kit, so we'll start with one. Also, this thing has only ever ran on 5 cylinders since I've had it, so that's fine. And I know it's one of the back 3. I think it's number 5. So we'll ignore that and get at least 2 of those cylinders running with good gasoline. Like I said, I've got that trickle charging. It's going to take quite a while to get fuel brought up to the bowls from the fuel pump, but it will come around. It normally does. So I'll keep cleaning up the area around the car, so that way when we get it running, we can actually pull it out. Well, as expected, the battery is not actually any good, but we'll leave it on trickle overnight and check tomorrow and expect different results. Well, it's the next day, and here we are again. This has been boiling over. Maybe it hasn't been boiling overnight. I thought that clamp was attached. At any rate, regardless of what the battery's doing, I'm gonna go ahead and crank the crankshaft by hand a little bit, just to give the starter every bit of chance it can have. moves relatively easily. As much as I'd love to get this running and pulled out and work in the beautiful sunlight, I guess realistically I should probably just leave the car in the garage. So let's pull this carburetor off, and then I'll set up a table either inside or in here or something. We'll leave the battery on board this time. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm, meditating on what's to come. And I realized I don't have any carburetor cleaner. So I guess I gotta make a trip to the store. That's fine. I would say the secondaries were full of stuff. Seems like that one secondary might be frozen too, so I guess we'll come back later and do this one too. It's fine. Let me get washed up and then we'll make a parts run. Before we leave, let's go ahead and take the battery out and see if we can get that replaced under warranty. All right, so we're back from the store with battery in hand along with our carb cleaner. So I thought about taking this all inside because it's not exactly beautiful outside, but do I want to fill the basement full of carburetor cleaner fumes? And there's no wash sink down there. Not that there's one in here, but anyway, I'm just gonna do it out here. So I'll get a little table set up with some cardboard to keep everything organized, and let's get going. So some of the challenges here are that I can't even get a socket onto that in order to be able to fully pull off this choke mechanism. So it's in the way. Realistically, I would love to get this shaft out completely and get in here with some light sandpaper and clean this up. The challenge there is getting the throttle blade screws out is going to be a nightmare. And so I'm just going to keep trying to work this thing back and forth to get it to clean itself up. Well, it kind of runs. It's still not pulling from the tank, but that's all I have time for right now. I might have time to come back at this later tonight, but in any rate, it's all back together. We'll see how it runs as soon as we get the chance. All right, so it is Monday morning, which I generally don't like doing these videos extending into the week. I have work to get to. But let's go ahead and see if we can get the fuel system primed and actually hear this thing run. And then we can call it done and we're not going to go driving right now. It is currently raining a bit. So I'm not going to go driving right now, but we can at least free rev it and see just how it sounds. I let the engine come up to temperature. It's running as good as it ever has. It's always ran on 5 cylinders since we've had it. So yeah, can't really take it for a test drive to really test out those secondaries, but taking apart that first carburetor, the gaskets it has are like super thick, like a hard cork that came off completely clean, every one that I did. So I think before I take it for a test drive, I'm gonna take apart that second carburetor, the front one, clean it out, because it has also debris on the secondaries. I don't know if the secondaries are opening. And then when we get some good weather, we'll take it outside and give it a bath and wash it. And then it'll be prepped and ready for doing the shine juice, and then go for a drive. So until next time, keep jamming.